ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. It really means a lot on this rainy. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? What's today, you guys? Is today Thursday? Guys, today is Thursday already. I can't even keep track of the days. It is Thursday today. On this rainy Thursday afternoon or evening here in Atlanta. Make sure you guys hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe to the content. It really means a lot. Have a couple of announcements before we get started. Announcement number one, y'all, we are rolling. We are rolling. And if you're watching this, I need everybody to go to donfo.africa. Again, I need everyone to go to donfo.africa. Not now, but right now. Okay, not now, but right now. And we are rolling to Benin Republic. We are rolling to Benin Republic January 3rd through the 12th. January 3rd through the 12th for the Voodoo Festival. Again, we are rolling to Benin Republic January 3rd through 12th for the Voodoo Festival. Come and roll with us. Come and roll with us. Come and enjoy the Voodoo Festival. We are going to have an awesome time in Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. Please visit donfo.africa. I'm only going to take 5 people. So come and join us in Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. Also, we are rolling. So Sierra Leone, I wrote the dates down. Sierra Leone, April 20th through the 29th. So I'm going to officially announce that here shortly. Sierra Leone, April 20th through the 29th. Now, this is not for citizenship. This is for if you want to come and experience and have fun and have a lovely time in Sierra Leone, one of my favorite countries, most favorite countries on the planet. I'm looking forward to Nigeria. We leave for Nigeria in about 3 weeks. In about 3 weeks, we leave for Nigeria. And I am looking forward to it. We're going to have an awesome time in Nigeria for the Osun Festival. So we'll be leaving in about 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. I got one more spot. If someone wants to come, if somebody wants to join us in Nigeria, I got one more spot for the Osun Festival. So if you want to come, go to donfo.africa. Without further ado, let me get the banner going. There we go. Let me get the banner going. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. I'm going to put the link in the chat room here in about 20 minutes. And you guys are more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. The real reason, first off, let me give a disclaimer. All right. We are not going to agree on everything. I am for diversity in thought. I am for a difference of opinion. And you are more than welcome to call in. If you disagree with me, I'll love to hear why you disagree with me. Have no problem with being challenged. Again, I'm for differing opinions, diversity of thought, diversity of opinions. I like to hear everybody's view. Let's just be respectful of each other. Okay. I can't stand cancel culture. All right. Again, I cannot stand cancel culture. Okay. So this is an open platform. I appreciate everyone's contribution. I enjoy listening to everyone's opinion. So yeah. So hit that like button. And the real reason why Black people are scared of Project 2025, this is my opinion. Project 2025 has the Black community spooked, paranoid, scared, wanting to triple down on vote blue no matter who. But this over 900-page document, the reason why Black people are scared of Project 25, the real reason why is because Black people, we don't have our own Project 2025. We don't have any think tanks as a collective. Now, there have been people who came before us who have laid a foundation and given us a blueprint. Shout out to Amos Wilson on what to do, but we don't listen. Roland himself said people in politics like Kellyanne Conway go home and laugh at the people who support them. He's no different. I personally heard him say this. Sounds like Roland. Black people as a collective have no plan. That's why. That is why Black people are so scared of Project 2025, because Black people as a collective have absolutely no plan. They don't. They don't. That's just the reality. Black people as a collective do not have a plan. So we're reactionary, we fearmonger, and we get paranoid. And this is going to continue to happen every election cycle. There's going to be a new boogeyman. And because the candidate who Black people, the majority of Black people who they're getting behind doesn't have a shot. I was going to use another word. Doesn't have a shot in hell to win. Now he has COVID all of a sudden. Black people have to use scare and fear tactics to vote for this guy, who, if you ask me, I don't even think he's gonna be the nominee. Well, he's already the nominee. But I don't know. I think he might get replaced, if you ask me. I think Joe Biden's not gonna make it, especially now with this COVID scare. Now, here's a guy who said if you get vaccinated, you won't catch COVID. He caught COVID. This is a guy who has multiple booster shots and a vax, still caught it. So something's not adding up. He catches it, tests positive for it. You don't see him wearing a mask. I'm just saying something is off. So I think they're using this COVID scare, or using this COVID diagnosis as a way to usher him out and then replace him with Kamala. But if Kamala becomes the nominee, she's getting smoked worse. If Kamala, the only shot the Democratic Party has, is a super ticket of Michelle Obama running as president and Barack Obama running as vice president. That's the only shot that they have. But Kamala's getting smoked worse than Sleepy Joe. Gavin, though, is getting smoked. You just saw the weirdo stuff he's doing in California with this law where if a student decides to change their pronoun, the teacher isn't, it's not mandatory for the teacher to notify the parents, which is odd. So again, if a student changes their pronoun, it's not required, by the teachers to notify the parents, which is weird. Back when I was growing up, you had parent-teacher conference. So if a student came to a teacher and said, hey, instead of he, I want to be a she, you call the parents in, counseling, you sit down, and you talk about it. Guys, listen, the he's a felon, he's this, in fact, listen, because of immunity, that stuff, because the hush money trial, which he got convicted of, with the immunity now from the SCOTUS, the new immunity ruling, that might get dropped and wiped off. So he might no longer be a felon pretty soon because they pushed back the sentencing. He's supposed to get sentenced. You know what? I want to say he was supposed to be sentenced before the RNC, or not, the first week of August, but they pushed it back because of SCOTUS. So that might be let go. I already know Trump's people appealed it. You saw what happened to the documents case. That got dropped. The election interference case here in Georgia, shout out to Fani Willis for dropping the ball on that. Her and Nathan Wade, which was an absolute shit show and embarrassment. And not only that, it was an absolute embarrassment for Black women. It was an absolute embarrassment for Black women. So everything they're throwing at Trump is not sticking. And I told people this when they first started charging Trump with all these crimes, that none of this stuff is going to stick. None of it's going to stick. And guess what? Dinas Demir, Negro Damas, was right. None of this is sticking. None of it. So that's what it is. None of this is sticking. So that's the real reason Black folks are scared of Project 2025, because conveniently, they start bringing up Project 2025 after Biden embarrassed the DNC and himself at that first debate with Trump a couple weeks ago. Then all of a sudden, here's Project 2025, because you guys can't rally around Biden. You can't rally around Biden because he doesn't have a chance. So they got to use a fear tactic, Project 2025. But Trump himself disavowed Project 2025, and you have Agenda 47, which is on his website, his campaign site. Guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Please click on that link. Please click on that link, and you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Again, link is in the chat room. If you want to add to the convo, please click on the link. Excuse me. And you're right. We're scared because white liberals told us to be. Well, they didn't tell me. They told y'all. White liberals told you guys to be scared as well. So links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Please click on the link if you want to call in after the conversation. And once again, we are rolling to Benin Republic, January 3rd through 12th. January 3rd through 12th, we are rolling to Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. Please visit Danfo, DANFO.Africa to learn more. Please visit Danfo.Africa. Hold on. So I knew there was a hater in the chat room. I knew there was a hater in the chat room. I knew I felt a hater. My hater radar. My hate dar. My spidey senses went off. And I just knew there was a hater in the chat room. E40 is the GOAT. Again, E40 is the GOAT. So we're not going to hate on E40. We're not going to hate on E40. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. If you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. Guys, links to the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. If not, I'll wait a minute and then we'll close out. All right, we'll wait 30 more seconds. If nobody calls in, we'll just end the show. Go ahead, Alan.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
man. I just as I've been saying on here and on Brandon's platform, there's nothing to be scared of with Project 2025 because it's from the Heritage Foundation, and it's just literally an extension of what the Heritage Foundation has been trying to do for the past 50 years or plus years. So to act as if this is brand new and something that we should be scared of, it's kind of ridiculous. It just shows that people aren't informed, and then B, there are people, white liberals who know how to push our buttons every 4 years to get us, to be fearful, and that's I've just gotten to the point where I'm tired of that. Republicans are very methodical, and so they're very long range planners. So there's very few things that they can come up with that are just brand new. And so people should really understand that and know that.
Hey, you think Biden's going to drop out?
I think he should drop out. I don't think he's going to drop out.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, even Obama came out and said he needs to reconsider. But
Yeah.
you know what kills me? So when you have all this big donor money, you have all these influential Democrats saying he needs to drop out. Here comes Roland Martin and D.L. Hughley. Man, y'all scared, man. Y'all cowards, man. And it's just like the people with the actual money and influence are saying he needs to drop out. So you guys should be encouraging the guy to drop out.
Right. They think that they can, with time, it's been a few weeks. And so now that we can unsee what we saw. And we can't unsee what we saw. Everybody saw it. The emperor has no clothes. We see it. And so come election day, there's no moderates or people who are on the fence or in the middle who are going to vote for that guy. And he's going to lose every swing state. And we know he's going to lose Michigan. He's going to lose Wisconsin. He's going to lose Pennsylvania. He's going to lose Georgia's going to turn red again. He's going to lose everything. And they know it. It's going to be an unmitigated disaster. Now, Roland Martin has changed his tune, if you've been watching of late. And he's saying now that, they can't skip over Kamala. That's the thing he's rolling with now. Because I think what he realized what he was saying.
Kamala does worse. They need to be begging Michelle Obama to run to even have a shot.
But they can't skip over her because all that money they got the only two people who can use it are Biden and Kamala Harris.
Oh wow.
So they gotta roll with Kamala, even though they don't want to. But that's what happens when you pick somebody who you don't pick for the right reasons, and she's unqualified. And you pick her as vice president. Nobody has any confidence in her to take over anything. So that's what happened. There are plenty of other black women who are more qualified than Kamala Harris they could have chosen. They chose to go with her. As to now upstage the president, and now the president is incapable. And they don't want to use the vice president they chose.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, click on the link. Again, if you want to call in after the conversation, please click on that link. But so you have that going on. So if Kamala's not the presidential nominee, who do they go with?
They're talking, but they want to do Gavin Newsom or that.
Gavin is. I don't see how anyone but votes for Gavin. Just look at California. California's a dump.
The country doesn't know that. The
Because
country
you
doesn't
know about the law he just passed, right? And you're educated. Okay, you being an educator, because I have some educators who are trying to defend that mess. How do you feel about
it? It's hard to defend that. It's hard to defend it. But I'm different. I know how people are in my profession. They see things very differently than I do. The field of education has become very left-leaning, and radically so. Even at as far down as the elementary school levels. So, most of my colleagues would say, "Great, that we need to have confidentiality and blah 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 blah." But I personally would feel like I need to involve the parents in some way. So that's
Yeah, if you guys don't know, let me try to pull this up real quick. Gavin Newsom, man. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Here we go. Let me guys, give me a second. Fair use, Fox LA. Fair use. Here we go.
Developing news on the controversial bill signed by Governor Gavin Newsom, Assembly Bill 1955. The bill prohibits California school districts from notifying parents about a student's desire to change sexual orientation or gender identity. The bill's author wants to prevent students from being, quote, forcibly outed. Well, now a lawsuit has been filed challenging the newly enacted legislation. Joining me now is Assembly Member Corey Jackson. He's a Democrat from Moreno Valley. He's a co-author of the bill and a member of the
Okay, so he's the co-author of the bill.
Caucus.
Alan, why are black people now the face of just weird shit here in America?
because we're used as a Trojan horse for everything. that is considered liberal or countercultural or revolutionary. We've ever since the civil rights movement, that was effective, and so black faces are very easy to find. So it goes against what most people in the black community would really want, but you can find true liberal people like Roland Martin, or somebody else who really believes in this kind of stuff, and then make them the face of black America to then shame the others into getting back in line. And if all else fails, you just scare them with racism. It's really that simple. We are the Trojan horse for everything. Everybody piggybacks off of black people, and they can get in off our backs.
Oh, somebody said Cory Moreno is not FBA. That is, hold on. Let me go back. Hold on.
Enacted legislation. Joining me now is the Assembly member Corey Jackson.
His name is Corey Jackson. So these FBA guys are just clowns. So here we go. Well, he's not FBA. He's a tether. His name is Corey Jackson, not Cory Moreno. He's assemblyman out of Moreno Valley. These people, man. Let me explain this.
He's a Democrat from Moreno Valley. He's a co-author of the bill and a member of the LGBTQ caucus. Assemblymember Jackson, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Before I get to you, I want to get to the lawsuit that was filed on behalf of the Liberty Justice Center on behalf of the Chino Valley Unified School District. They put out a statement challenging AB 95, saying this: school officials do not have the right to keep secrets from parents, but parents do have a constitutional right to know what their minor children are doing at school. Parents are the legal guardians of their children, not Governor Newsom, Attorney General Bonta, or Superintendent Thurmond. I want to get your response to that, sir, and also answer the question of how is that not government overreach?
Well, honestly, forcing teachers to do anything besides teaching and to get in the way of parents' relationship with their children is actually government overreach. And so that statement you read is really a political statement. It's not a statement that is grounded in reality, unfortunately.
Well, I have the bill in front of me. It's 4 pages long. It is officially titled the Support Academic Futures and Educators for Today's Youth Act. In it, it says choosing when to come out by disclosing an LGBTQ plus identity and to whom are deeply personal decisions. Noting that the most personal relationship that a child has is with their parents. That's what critics of this bill are saying. Your response?
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't cover 100% of students. We know that particularly members of the LGBTQ community knows that we still live in homes where coming out means we will become homeless. Coming out means we may actually be physically harmed. Coming out means we may be alienated. And so what this bill says is we need to protect all children to making sure that they feel safe on their campuses.
How will this be enforced? This is for all schools up and down California. What happens if someone violates it?
Well, obviously, then if it is reported, then we have a mechanism in which the Attorney General or the Department of Education get involved. And they will create a process to be ensure that we comply, that all districts are complying with this law. And so that we can make sure that all students are feeling safe on their campuses.
So the enforcement mechanism necessarily hasn't been worked out yet?
I know the law was just signed recently, right? And so I'm sure the process has to be written out in terms of policy that will actually enact the law. And so looking forward to getting more information from the Attorney General and the State Superintendent.
So Governor Newsom, to your point, he signed this into law on Monday, and then Tuesday, the day after, yesterday.
Yeah, Corey was born in Rialto, California. So Corey is definitely FBA, Jay Sanders. Corey is FBA, Jay Sanders. So he was born in Rialto. He's FBA. Let me continue.
Elon Musk, he took to X and he called it the final straw. He says that he's moving all of his businesses, SpaceX and Twitter, or X as it's now called, out of California. He's headed to Texas because of this legislation. How concerned are you, Assemblymember Jackson? How concerned is the governor about the millions of dollars that California is losing out of, not to mention the thousands of jobs that that he will take with him, that Elon Musk will take with him?
I would just say this, is that our children are worth more than any corporation in California. If Mr. Musk wants to leave one of the most innovative economies in the world, the 5th largest economy in the world, to make a political stance, that's certainly his right to do so. But for us to put a dollar amount or to consider money as opposed to the safety of every single child in our school, to me, there's no comparison.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on tonight and expressing your side to this. This is Assemblymember Corey Jackson out of Moreno Valley. Thank you so much. More to come on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, that guy's insane.
No more dreading Mondays. No more.
Yeah, this is Gavin Newsom's This is Gavin Newsom's California. Let me pass to Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Diamonds, can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
Okay, so the reality is, black people, we're going to try to take like some type of moral stance on this. The reality with this dude, Corey, is that he's basically trying to retain his job or his position as a politician. When you come from a community or so-called community that basically is non-participant when it comes to voting in California, you have to try every trick in the book to maintain or retain a position that you fought and earned, right? So Corey, he pretty much just checks all the boxes. He's gay. He's a nerd. He's down with the radical liberal agenda of California. And at the end of the day, he needs to provide for himself and whoever else is dependent on him. As long as black people continue to be non-participant, as long as black people fall back on ignorant ass excuses like he's not FBA and voting doesn't count, we're going to continue to see our people used as the face of all sorts of ignorance and degeneracy. Because if your politicians and representatives can't fall back on their community, they literally have no ground. They don't even have legs to stand on when it comes to political action or political viability. He can't depend on his community, so to keep his job, he has to cater to the gay community. White guy or Mexican might come cater to the gay community. Corey has to go even more extreme to the trans community or all the other letters of the alphabet. This is the formula. The more extreme you go, the more support you seem to get as a black person in politics, even if it is only for 1 or 2 terms. So I understand why Corey's doing what he's doing, and all of us do, but we don't want to address the elephant in the room.
Go ahead, Mr. Sandman. Yeah, we can't hear you. Mr. Sandman, we can't hear you. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I believe Corey's doing what he's doing because he is more loyal to his sexuality than he is to his race and liberal ideologies. That's what I see. We have created, or white liberals have created, a brand of black LGBTQ who do not see themselves as black first, like Baldwin or any of the others out there who saw themselves as black first. They see themselves primarily through the scope of their sexuality. And so because of that, they represent the rainbow flag in everything they do. And that's the reason why people like Corey are chosen.
but you could say we could take the easy route, right, Dinus? We could say white people created these black people. White people didn't create these black people, Dinus. Lack of black involvement in politics created these black people. It's a ridiculous situation when a black man have to depend on white people to be elected in his own damn community because his own people won't even show up to the voter booth to choose leadership. It's all over the country. You don't hear, Dinus, I brought up this example. You go around the country, you don't hear black politicians talking about black issues, Dinus. You hear black politicians talking about justice for Palestine. That ain't got nothing to do with LGBTQ. You basically hear black politicians talking about any social justice issue that could get them votes because they know talking about their own people's problems will not secure them the votes they need to gain or retain political positions.
Can I chime in, Dynasty?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that, man, Project 2025 is nothing more than a fear tactic, ritualistic fear tactic that's always employed by the Liberal Party every time election time comes. Last year the last election, it was COVID, right? I forget what the issue was, the election before that, but it's always some kind of fear mongering scheme that the Liberal Party designs to scare black folk in particular, but really just voters as a whole to vote for them. And even when you look at Project 25, first of all, the Heritage Foundation is not a legislative body. It has no power to pass any kind of law. What the Heritage Foundation has done by presenting this bill to Congress is just nothing more than presenting them an idea or that concept of what they deem might be a just approach to policy, right? It's no different than the NAACP presenting a bill to Congress and saying, "Hey, look, adopt this bill," yada yada yada, right? So, like for to even presume that if the Republicans win the election, that the Project 2025 is going to be passed, that's a huge presumption. You know what I mean? So, like I say, people who don't understand politics, I spoke on this before and I said that politics was a science, and it's a science no less demanding and no less intricate than engineering or architecture. And those who don't have a strong foundation in politics and don't understand it, in my opinion, should really just stay out of it. They shouldn't even vote, because what they'll end up doing is voting in the party because they've been subject to that party's rhetoric and propaganda. They'll end up voting in a party that has no intention in advancing the interest of that people, of the people that voted for them. So that's my take on Project 2025. That's all I got to say about it.
Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead, Mr. Sandman.
Hello, you can hear me this time?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, so the issue here is all right, so LGBT, California is ground zero for the LGBT movement. And there's also ground zero for Silicon Valley and the movement of the technology. So if this is San Francisco, and you know how heavy LGBTQ is in San Francisco, along with the Silicon Valley movement and microchips, and we also know that all of our microchips come from California, and they also come from Thailand. So basically, the LGBTQ is the Democrats' constituency. So they're just trying to pander to them because they need their vote, and it's also they're elitists. They're biggest contributor money wise is the LGBTQ community. It just so happens that a lot of these nerds and geeks that are into technology in California happen to be gay as well. So there's supposed to be a separation in between church and state. And it says that in the Constitution. So these Christian nationalists, or the people that's supposed to be pushing this Project 2025, they're trying to bring back a white Christian dominated thought process back into the government. And you know that homosexuality is considered an abomination in the Christian religion. So
Amen.
there's a fight in between these Christian nationalists, these white Christian nationalists, and the elitist people that are supporting the Democratic Party that happen to be gay. So I think this don't really got nothing to do with us as black people, but they need our vote. But at the same time, the Democrats need the black vote, but at the same time, they need their biggest financial contributors, which happen to be the gay people in California.
Well, a lot of Silicon Valley already said they're voting for Trump.
I push against that, Dynas. People don't even realize the LGBTQ stuff. It's not even as big. Somebody needs to mute up. It's not even as big as they try to make it seem. The reality is, when you got a bunch of people who are politically single issue voters, right? All you have to do is say what a certain group of people want to hear at a certain time, and you could get people who totally disagree with each other to support the same candidate. For example, California. The Mexicans want amnesty. They want sanctuary cities. The Democrats in California say, look, we'll give you amnesty, we'll give you sanctuary cities. We won't deport you. We won't come up in your house and take you and put you out the country. Then when they get in front of the gay crowd, they say, look, we're going to let y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all want to touch kids. Y'all want to do this. Y'all want us to stop prosecuting pedophilia. We're going to do that. Now you have Hispanics who traditionally are extremely anti-LGBTQ now voting together with LGBTQ because now the party that they are voting for shares a common interest with the LGBTQ. So what Democrats are succeeding in doing is they're basically succeeding in bringing all the degenerates together, Dynas, the illegal immigrants, the criminal alien migrants, the LGBTQ, generally the black criminal class, the group of blacks that support degenerate behavior, what I would call the black racist or the black nationalists. The Democrats have succeeded in bringing all of them onto the same plantation, so to speak. My question to you, Dynas, is this: do you realize that every single group voting for Democrat is basically perpetuating a narrative that is totally unrealistic? For example, Mr. Salmon said, oh, the LGBTQ, they know that one thing that's part of the white nationalist, Christian white nationalist modus operandi is hatred for the LGBTQ. Dynas, this is an absolute lie. You go all around the country, you see gay churches with LGBTQ flags. Have any of these churches been burnt down, Dynas? These are Christian churches. So how can you sit up out your mouth and say that gay people fear white Christian nationalists when there are gay people who are Christian nationalists? Gay people sitting up by the hundreds and thousands up in a gay church, and the white Christian nationalists ain't rolled down on them yet.
I agree, Brandon. They Christian.
You're breaking up, Scott.
Even when you look at the history.
You're on your Obama phone.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
You can. I was just saying that I agree with Brandon. Let me pause and let me hold on.
But this is the reality, Dynas.
Hey, Dynas,
all the fear.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, he dropped off. Go ahead, Brandon.
All the fears are baseless. We have let mainstream media, in collusion with Democrat Party, convince gay people, trans people, everyone in America wants to hurt you. It's the same thing with Jewish people. You have these cult beliefs now that are not based in reality, Dinus. We all know that everybody in America ain't walking around trying to kill a Jewish person. We all know that everybody in America ain't walking around. No one wakes up in the morning and says, you know what I want to do today? I want to go kill a transvestite. I want to go kill a person who's gay, a lesbian, or a homosexual. No one wakes up saying that, Dinus. But these people continue to run this campaign that everyone is trying to kill them. And if you don't agree with everything they say and co-sign and perpetuate everything they want to do, you are a part of the group that wants to kill them. Once Americans stop falling for the victim crap, and I'm talking about the victim crap that black people perpetuate as well, right? The victimhood narrative. America will be great again. We got to just let all the victims go on their own island, be victims, don't even pay attention to them because they're under so much threat, Dinus. They ain't never talking about leaving. They got no problem walking onto that Tesla lot, and getting them the new Tesla, the $150,000 Tesla. But I'm so afraid. You would think someone who was afraid would be building a bunker or something so that nobody could come get them. It's all bullshit, Dinus. Black people, we afraid of what racism, but we got no problem moving up into the white neighborhood. We got no problem going to go apply for the 99% white company and be celebrating the fact that we the only black person up in there. It's all lies, Dinus. None of these people could give you a real life example of what they say they fear actually happening.
Yeah, Brandon, Dinus, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Brandon. You know, man. Like I said, Christianity has a tendency to, to try to advance this idea of, you're kind of free to do what you want to do. Even though the Bible don't say that. You know what I'm saying? But and he's right. I mean, you go in these churches, you got that LGBTQ community everywhere. I mean, we all know about the choir director, right? You know what I mean? So I mean, I definitely agree with that. But like I say, I think we might underestimate. I don't know if you guys underestimated. I know a lot of people that I encounter underestimate, the power that propaganda and political marketing plays in the minds of these people. You know what I mean? Like they watch CNN and think they've been informed. They use arguments from political from CNN and all these kind of left media houses or what they done saw on YouTube, to support their political arguments or whatever. You know what I mean? I see it unfold all on social network, and black people are just completely politically ignorant. Or not all of them, you know what I mean? But it's a good deal, especially young, a lot of young folk. They not real politically conscious. Any kind of conspiracy that they hear on YouTube or wherever wherever they hear it from, they believe it. I'm constantly having to convince black people that they're not Indians. And that Egypt and that Egypt is not in America. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you guys are encountering these kind of black people, but it's we got all different kind of narratives in our community, and it's crazy. But Dinus, I got a question. It's not really on the topic, but it's about a topic that you talked about the other day. It was about Liberia, and a while back, I'm fascinated with the history of Liberia. When I was in law school, the law school library had a whole section of Liberian law. I had the opportunity to read the opinions of Louis Arthur Grimes when he was the Attorney General in the 1920s. It's just real interesting, right? The only law school in Liberia is named after this guy, Louis Arthur Grimes. He actually represented Liberia in a lawsuit when the League of Nations tried to take their sovereignty, claiming that Liberia was trading slaves or whatever, But I got a question. Do you think that African Americans should somehow find a way to retake our position in Liberia? Do you even think it's possible, maybe like to start a new True Wig party or something in Liberia? Because I really just feel like Liberia was just, I mean, it was just 40 some years ago, so it's really not that long ago. I
Right.
still think I still think that it's possible for us to, to take back our, what our ancestors built there. And I think with I think the Republican Party. I'm not saying that we should go ask them for anything or nothing like that, but I think conservatives in general would even support that contention. But what do you think? I'm just curious.
Yeah, why not? Why not? First off, why not? First of all, why not just go to Liberia and 10 toes on the ground and just get involved that way? I mean, it's baby steps.
Okay. Yeah, because I was actually looking into it, man, and I see the practice law in Liberia. All they got to do is pass the bar here, and and I can go practice law in Liberia. So, I'm really interested in it, But the reason I asked, because I wouldn't want to go over there and it start something negative or nothing like that, because I don't want it to be like a negative situation. You see what I'm saying? But like if African Americans were to kind of start to, because I posted an article there was on my page where I don't know if you read it, where the Alpha fraternity was working with the president over there when he got elected, the new president. He's older man. I forgot his name, but apparently he's a member of I think he's a member of their fraternity. And I see that the African American, I saw the picture of them. I guess they was at the presidential house or whatever there in Monrovia, and they was working with him to kind of, I guess, I don't maybe start that. Did you see anything about that? Any information about that?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, let me see. If I can find that article, I can post it
put
in the
I put in the chat. Go ahead, Tiffany J. Unmute yourself, Tiffany.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, well, what I was basically going to say, and I wasn't going to say much, I was thinking one of the main ways that we need to get back to things is instead of broadcasting, like when our community has a meeting of any sort to try to politically come together, it should not be on social media. We need to be grassroots back into the churches where people are communing, or any daycares, wherever our kids are, wherever our grown-ups are actually in our community are actually congregating. We need to be word of mouth again. Maybe flyers, but only specifically to us. But it shouldn't be where everybody could infiltrate. And I think that that's the biggest part of the problem is that we have the other communities able to peek in, listen in, and everything else. I mean, just to give like an example, Dr. Umar Johnson, that was like an Asian guy, I forgot whatever his name is, he's Asian and mixed with something, but he was online, he went viral imitating Dr. Umar, but really speaking to his own community. I'm not sure if they were Korean or Chinese or whatever it was, but yeah, he would say the same thing about not mixing out with themselves and basically taking everything that Umar tries to say to the black community and they're issuing it towards their own community. And I think that that's part of our issue is that everything that we want to do, everything that we want to fight for, it's always either it's broadcast where everybody else can tune in and be able to thwart any type of progress that we make.
What do you think, Brandon?
I just really think that, first of all, Dr. Umar is actually stealing his lingo from other groups, because other groups have been saying what Dr. Umar is talking about. They've not only been saying it, they've been practicing it. So how did someone steal from Dr. Umar when, if you look at their community is actually has been implementing the stuff Dr. Umar's been talking about for like the past 150 years or 100 years in America. So yeah, the source is with them, not with us. We've been practicing coonery, right? On top of that, just talking about word of mouth is something, but in reality, No other groups have to watch what they say in broadcast. They got television networks, Al Jazeera, Telemundo, where you could sit up and watch all their politics. The reality is, black people don't look at everything but what the actual problem is. The problem with black folks are the only group on the planet trying to drag a bunch of Negroes that don't want nothing, ain't about nothing, and ultimately don't care about nothing across the finish line. Every other group, when people decide they want to be non-participants, they just leave them where they're at, and you can be a part of whatever thing you want. But the people at the cutting edge or the tip of the spear of the community, they're moving forward. They're charting a course. Black people have no collective agenda. Black people have no collective direction that we're trying to go in. The only thing we get together to talk about is reparations. And then when you say, hey, what we gonna do with our reparations together? Don't tell me what to do with my money. So we're just joking, right? The reality is black people are in connection with the group that they want to be, with the community they want to be connected to. And the community black people in America want to be connected to is the white community in any way, shape, or form. If it's cleaning toilets, we gonna do that. If it's perpetuating the LGBTQ narrative, we gonna do that. And that's what you're basically seeing, Dinus, a bunch of black people who sit up in the number one people running their mouth about systematic white supremacy are the black politicians, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, etc., who sitting their ass up in the presence of white folks every damn day, right? Kissing white folks' booty just to get on these committees and stuff. But what we're dealing with in this community, like what Skywalker was talking about, everybody want to be Indian, Israelite, and all this mess. This is just the cope, Dinus. These are coping mechanisms of a people that is in psychosis. I compare them to what was his name? Holtman or Hodman or whatever his name was on remember Miss Evers' Boys? What was his name? Holtman.
I don't remember.
Yeah, his name was Holtman. Remember the dude who Miss Evers stole the penicillin and she gave him a shot to cure himself, but he still went out in the field and drank that turpentine and killed himself trying to heal himself from the syphilis. That's black people. We are devolving back into mysticism and self and identity disorders because you know what they say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Our political action or lack thereof has literally driven black people insane, Dinus. Insane. We don't even know who we are anymore because we've been doing the same thing so much, expecting a different result. A different result. It's driven us into pure psychosis. I mean, Dinus, you got black men who are lawyers, successful. What's his name? Ellery and Phil and all these dudes, successful black men up here talking about, you know what the black man needs, Dinus? The black man needs to be taxed into oblivion by the white man, and that's what's going to save him economically. His whole paycheck needs to go to the government, and that's going to save him economically and put him in a better position to feed his family, while simultaneously they out here getting bags up under capitalism. Dinus, we're just totally gone mentally.
Let me play this for you. Speaking of LA and what's going on, hold on, let me play this.
And also, Dinus, I put that in the chat for you.
Okay, cool. Let me play this real quick.
Found on Slauson Avenue over the median, desperate to get around these busy intersections. He's going right into oncoming lanes of traffic.
A wild and reckless pursuit with a baby on board. The speeding driver fleeing deputies at extreme speeds, putting so many others at risk. Reporter Chris Christie right overhead in Air 7, calling it all.
Going the wrong way. Oh no! Look at this. He is gunning it, going the wrong direction on Jefferson Boulevard. Look at all of the traffic there is here. He is having to navigate traffic going in both directions, zigzagging across the median here.
The driver also live streaming the pursuit from behind the wheel.
I'm not gonna kill y'all, I promise.
Bro, just let us out the car.
As a woman who says she's the infant's mother pleads for him to pull over and surrender.
Pull over and put your
They gonna kill me, cuz.
you gotta pull over and put your hands up, bro. My baby's in the car, bro. Bro, just pull over and put your hands up, bro.
The driver eventually turning down a dead-end street where he tries to back up, but the car is quickly penned in by sheriff's cruisers as several deputies are seen rushing forward with guns drawn, taking aim right at the car. Moments later, the driver opens his door, and that's when we can clearly see the tiny infant in his lap.
We'll see here. We'll have a really clear view here in a second. That appears to be a small infant in his arms.
The baby appearing to be unharmed after being taken along during this wild and dangerous drive. Well, investigators holding a news conference just a short time ago. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter joining us live now with what we have learned. Leanne.
Mark, that live stream alerting deputies to the fact that there was an infant in the vehicle, and they say that took their pursuit to level 10.
Oh, no, I'm not relaxing when you got my baby in the car and they got guns pointed to the car and they about to hit the car, bro. You're not thinking about your baby right now. You finna get our baby too.
A desperate plea to escape as a suspect live streams a dangerous pursuit with his 2-month-old baby and the child's mother in the backseat.
Hey, you gotta pull over and put your hands up, bro. My baby's in the car, bro.
The video now part of the investigation into the heart-pounding pursuit.
All right, I've seen enough. Yeah, Brandon, it's just, I don't know. We worried about the wrong shit.
Man, listen. These are the men that black women prefer to reproduce with. These are the men
Brandon, that baby look mixed, man. That baby look mixed. That baby look mixed.
Right, that wasn't a black lady, man. That
was just like
Brandon, that baby look like, I don't know, Brandon.
Dynas, wait a minute, Dynas. That dude, listen, we gonna play stupid, and this is why we where we are right now. Even if the baby mixed, that dude got 5 kids by 5 black chicks that laid up with him till he got tired of black chicks. Now he with a white chick. He probably driving a white chick's car. But the reality is, this is who these tatted on the neck gang member, this is who these black women is laid up with in LA, Dynas. You know I'm not lying. They producing kids for him, all this stuff. This guy don't give a damn about the baby. When he got out the car, he had the baby in his lap. Maybe the only reason they didn't light his ass up is because it was a light-skinned baby. But what I'm telling you, if you go on social media and into real life, it don't matter if you with a white girl. This is the type of guy these girls is out here pursuing. Ooh, yeah, girl, he popping, he on, he this, he that. Come on, Dynas, you know it's true. I don't know why we gonna sit up there and play willfully ignorant. You know it's true. They want the thugs. They want the bad boys, the dudes who pop it. You know what I'm saying? The dudes like that want to be in a high speed chase with the law. So look, that's what we're gonna get. That's what's glorified, and that's what we're gonna get.
And she gonna be right back with him when he get out of jail. Watch.
Well, I would like to say something to that. Being the only female over here right now, being just honestly speaking, there's a certain section of black females that like that type of guy. And actually the onus is on both black men and women, but a lot of it does come upon black women because we're the ones that tend to raise these men the boys who turn out to be men like that. I mean, after all, 70% of
y'all raised
people were raised in single mother households. So yes, we are part of the problem, definitely. But I will say this: there is a certain age group within the black female community that tends to go for that sort of guy. The older you get, yes, some light bulbs should turn on, and usually they do. And that's not the type that we're looking for, but it's the type of guys that we're raising, which is why there's that saying that there's so much piss in the pond. You know, we get our fish from. You know, so yeah, I will.
Brandon, let her finish, Brandon.
Far and large though, that's not the goal for those of us. And like back to what I was saying, as far as being able to meet up in a church or something to that nature, we had pride in the past, pride of self. We didn't want to really just be assimilate to the other communities. We just wanted to be left alone. Okay. So the reason I say that we need to go back to when we were in churches and in wherever places that we gathered, whether it be in the barbershop for the guys or at the church, most of the women are usually at the church and the guys usually at the barbershop. There's not as many men in the church, regardless of the denomination among the black community anymore. And you know, there are some real good reasons why people, leave that. But I do say that we definitely need, by word of mouth and not broadcast everywhere, that we get our stuff together for us and not for everyone else to see. When I mentioned about that, the Asian guy, it wasn't so much what he spoke specifically versus he used Dr. Umar's actual cadence. And he even shouted him out and said, no hate here. But no, he copied his cadence, he copied his exact words, he copied his repetition. You could tell right away who he was trying to imitate, but he was also serious with it. And
I
that's
mean, the
what I'm
fact that
saying that we'd have to do less of. It's so many people that are able to tap in and comment on and lead us all astray while we're out here lost in the world. We don't have to be. And the same way that we're talking about Biden and Trump, there are other people running for president. And the reason the black community is over here, being easily fearmongers into voting for Biden is because they so quickly forget. We so quickly forget and forgive for the things that folks do to us that are not of our community. We'll hold something against our own community for life.
well, here's the thing. Two things real quick. One, the fact that you're sitting up worried about a Chinese dude imitating a damn con artist means that, I don't know, I can't even barely take you seriously. Umar Johnson is a con artist. Umar Johnson been getting money from you for 25 years, talking about business school. It ain't never happened. I used to be someone who liked Umar, but I had to just wake up and smell the coffee. The dude ain't never building no school. He gonna keep fleecing. So let the Chinese have
Hold on, one mic, Brandon. He bought the school,
He
boy.
bought one.
He bought
He
the
bought the
school.
school. And see, that's the thing that I don't like about our community. Any
Wait a minute.
we don't give us credit for. But
Wait a
we can
minute,
give
Dinah.
Biden credit for some
Yeah,
stuff, and he's the one that wrote the
hey,
crime
Brandon,
bill.
Brandon.
He's the one that said that Barack was pretty much the first black person that actually, black man that spoke correctly. So it's like
Okay.
things like that we forgive
Okay,
so
can I
easily.
finish my point now? Can I finish
Yo,
my point?
Brandon.
Okay.
Yo, Brandon,
Wait a minute.
can I interrupt? I haven't.
And listening to your whole
Okay. One mic. Hold on, Brandon. Let me pat Skywalker. Go ahead.
Damn, I didn't get the
Hold on. Skywalker,
All right.
Skywalker, you want to respond to Brandon real quick, or you can't be
Yeah.
long. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I just want to respond to Brandon about his comment about Dr. Umar. I'm gonna disagree with that one. I think Umar
finished.
I think Umar, like I said, I mean, he got the school. What Umar trying to do isn't the easy thing, you know what I mean? So I mean, like, so like when people be like, he ain't got the school. I mean, that's something hard to do, to get an independent school by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Randall,
and he's done it, right? He's done it. I mean, he's showed us the pain. I mean, he still got a few more things to do, but I mean, he's done it. He's done it. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Randall X did it. Randall X, younger than Umar, don't got the history in the school system like Umar. This is what I'm telling y'all. Even if Umar really, let's say Umar really gonna do it, right? Okay, at this point, there's so much trauma and negativity surrounded that situation. Like, I just sat back and thought about Umar's whole plan, and it's ridiculous. Like, when you really just sit there, because I used to be Umar, like, I supported Umar. I never sent him a damn dollar, but I supported what he was doing. But Dynas, when you sit back and think about that, bro, it's bull crap. Umar been talking about that school for 20 years. Meanwhile, you got somebody like Randall X who's working, getting the boys out of the system, got them living on the grounds of the school, building school buildings, teaching class, buying buses. Dynas, at the end of the day, it's like this, bro. If you the best running back on the team, why is the coach sitting up talking to the dude who fifth string, who can't even get a pair of cleats to come to practice? Do you understand what I'm saying? We're focused on the wrong people because black people are worried about entertainment more than they're worried about actual results. Randall X is not as entertaining as Umar. Randall X ain't on all the top shows, Breakfast Club and all that. Dynas, let me ask you a real question, bro. If Dr. Umar can get on the Breakfast Club, you mean to tell me that Dr. Umar can't get the money to renovate that building? Let's be real for a second as men. as men. And Tiffany, you could be, you could comment on this as a woman. Dr. Umar has been on the creme de la creme of all internet shows. He don't go nowhere for free. Let's mind that because I've actually booked Umar for Shades of Africa. Umar at this point charging like 20 bands minimum, Dinus. You're telling me he ain't touched enough bread, got enough donations to get that school renovated? Any man or woman who's being honest about the situation, bro, it's scamming. Like it's
but
just a
Brandon,
reality.
he's got the
Here we
school
go.
renovated. I mean, he's got all that he done. He's got a few more things he got to do.
Listen, brother.
I just disagree with you on that one. I mean, I think like I commend Randall X, right? I think Randall X has done a great job.
What part do you disagree with?
Well, you saying that he hadn't got to school. I mean, that he's a scam, right? I can't tell somebody how to approach, what they trying to do. I mean, he using his own willpower to get it done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever process he using to get it done, I mean, he got it done. He got a school, it's painted, he got all the renovations done to it. He got like a few more things to do, and then he'll be done. I mean, it's his own.
Let me ask you a question now. So do we got all the renovations done, or do we got a few more things to do? Because it can't be both of them.
Okay, my bad. As far as I know, the only thing he has to do now is get some carpet put down and some tile put down on the floors or something like that. I mean, from the last video I saw, right? I don't know, but I mean, I think that's
you're a lawyer. Skywalker, you're a lawyer, but you're not using your legal mind right now. You're using your Negro mind right now. There are people who work a regular 9 to. Wait a minute, let me say this, and I'm not going to say nothing else. There are people who work a regular 9 to 5 job who have bought $1 million homes, totally renovated them, bought second and third and fourth properties. You got dudes flipping houses every month who are just regular guys, Dinus. I want you to look at it in this context, Dinus. You got dudes who are flipping houses every month, renovating them from the bottom up, who have flipped 50 houses in the last 10 years. And you're telling me Umar Johnson can't get one school renovated, one building?
I mean, you bring up a good point.
25 years.
You make a good point. Let me respond to that. You make a good point.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Tiffany. Go ahead, Tiffany. Unmute yourself, Tiffany.
I was unmicing. Yeah, I was unmuting so that I didn't want to interrupt anybody. But what I was going to say is, yes, young man is correct. The last thing that he did say that needs to be done was just the carpet and the towels put down on the floors. Now, one of the reasons one of the main reasons rather that he has to go a different route, what he wanted was different. He wanted to have it fully funded independently. He didn't necessarily want other communities, big companies, or anything putting their 2 cents in because he wouldn't be able to speak the way that he is. He'll be beholden to them.
Mean like Randall X?
Nature. So that's, say it again.
No, go ahead.
You mean
let him talk, Brandon. Let her talk.
Okay. So yeah, but for the way that he wants to go about things, he has to move a bit differently. He's been very vocal and very out there. And we tend to know what happens to people who are very vocal and out there and seem to be too productive too fast. We know what happened. He'd be gone. He'd be gone. So
guys,
the main thing though.
I'm trying to hear it, Brandon. Go ahead, Tiffany.
But the main thing to take away, though, he has plans to open the school this year because that is the last thing. Plus, you have all the permits. Now, when you were mentioning about people renovating houses and things, there are different requirements when it comes to getting things approved for schools. The permits, who you can hire, things of that nature. He's going to have a lot more steps than if you're just purchasing a house to, renovate and flip. Especially if you're trying to keep it as black as possible as far as who's putting their hands in it. So that we can actually keep, the rhetoric that he speaks is very, very much black, blackity, black, black, black. And whereas if qualified, non-black people try to go and pick up a job there at the school because he can't discriminate by race, he very well mentioned that he may have to hire some.
I was gonna make the same point.
But yeah, that was brought up already. But it's
Y'all,
because of the way he wants the school to go, for what he wants the school to do, he has to move differently. And it can't be funded by just anybody, and it can't be renovated by just anybody, especially if the
uh,
people who come in to renovate is going to hear any of
okay,
the things that probably should be kept in house, you know?
you
So
said
I
you said the same
dare
thing
you to
4
think
times.
of it that way. And I think it's kind of disingenuous for someone to comment on it if you're not even keeping up with the fact that he bought the school a while back.
Listen,
And I
here's the
think
thing
that's
is
disingenuous.
the
There's a
reality
great
is
response,
I'm
Chris. Great response.
But Brandon, you did say he leased the school. I think he
I'm
bought
the
it. I don't think he leased it.
I didn't say he leased it. I never the word lease never came out of my mouth. That's how I know y'all don't actually
Okay.
listen to what I'm saying. I never said lease.
Okay.
You- we could bet $5,000 on the playback, and I'll pay you out of my bank account if I said the word lease. That's what I'm about. Let's talk about facts. I'm the only one who actually think it because every time y'all say what y'all say, we got to go back to Randall X, someone who has done exactly what Dr. Umar is claiming he wants to do. There are independent schools all over the United States. White people got a ton of them. But y'all want to keep buying into this. The white man gonna take Umar out. Do you guys realize that Umar Johnson is on social media telling black dudes don't go with white women and all that stuff? It ain't a doggone thing you could stay in a private school that is worse. That you can't say on social media without getting banned. Like I said that wrong, but basically this dude's rhetoric is no longer even the metric for white people because they know that he's not serious. And anybody who looks at that situation honestly knows he's not serious. There's not a group of investors other than ignorant black people who will sit up and give somebody money. And 25 years later, this person ain't delivered on it. And this dude talk about all I got to do is get the carpet done. And somebody is jumping up telling me, Brandon, you're being disingenuous. Dinus, there are people who have went to school in kindergarten and are graduating from college, and Umar talking the same mess. At this point, Umar Johnson could have just went to Randall X like, brother, how did you get your stuff set up? Because I'm trying, but it ain't working. Who is Randall X using, Dinus, to renovate his stuff, to refurbish his buildings, all that? Why Umar can't just get on the horn and be like, hey, bro, send me them people down here to fix my stuff up? Guys, when you look at it, it's a scam, just like Jay Morrison. It's a scam, just like Ben X. It's a scam. Y'all don't want to acknowledge it's a scam, but inside your heart of hearts, y'all know this stuff is a scam, man. But as long as he keeps giving you a BS excuse, you know what I'm saying? You're going to keep on following it because you don't want to believe that he's not going to deliver because you put so much faith in him. Take away the unhealthy attachment, and you're going to set yourself free from this ignorance.
Yo, Brandon, yo, look, now hey, you know what I mean? If this turned out to be a scam, hey, look, I'm a duck forward, right? You know, I fell forward, right? Now, I mean, what was that?
It's turned out to be a scam. 25 years, bro.
I don't think we can conclusively say that this is a scam. You know, I mean, because he's
able to say scam.
Huh?
When will we be able to say?
I mean, if he never opens the school, but right now he's very, very close to opening the school. He's got the building, he's got it renovated, he's got the electric, the heating, and HVAC, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to conclusively say it's a scam, but like I say, if it somehow turned out to be a scam, if 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, this dude opened the school, okay, hey, I was a duck. I mean, I fell for the rhetoric, right? I wouldn't feel bad about that, right? But right now, I think the dude doing everything he can do as somebody who's trying to do something by himself without the help of white people. I mean, I ain't gonna knock nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, right? You know what I mean? You know, like, I mean, it is what it is. But so
it's not what it is, because that's just what black people say to try to dismiss something when they don't got no real reason to support it. Dr. Umar been taking people money for 25 years. Dr. Umar has gotten money from celebrities and everybody else. Dr. Umar is on the creme de la creme of these podcasts, these shows. He doesn't go nowhere for free. I'm going to keep reiterating that. We paid Dr. Umar 20 bands to show up at Shades of Africa. And then he got 5 more bands to piggyback Cal State Long. Actually, he got 20 bands to show up at Cal State Long Beach, 5 more bands, which turned to 10 bands to show up at Shades of Africa.
Brandon, you're a capitalist, bro. I mean, you're a capitalist. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying?
We're
I mean, I
not
don't blame nobody for trying to get their money.
Hey, guys, let's real quick. Let's change the topic real quick. Hey, Brandon, how do you feel about the Tariq's new documentary being I guess blocked because of copyright?
Well, I mean, Tariq is just lying. He's a liar. I mean, he's lying about the hip hop stuff. The people who are actually a part of the hip hop community, the real people who are a part of the hip hop community, the people who aren't just trying to, monetize on it or capitalize on it just real quick. They've stepped up and they've all come together and they're gatekeeping their subculture away from Tariq. The dude, I forgot his name, but Joe, whatever, he got that microphone check ripped down off of Amazon, and that's what it means to gatekeep your culture or your subculture. It's the same thing like if Tariq Nasheed tried to make a documentary about the history of jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and say Brazilian jiu-jitsu started in Africa. The people who are the big cheeses, so to speak, in Brazilian jiu-jitsu would shut him down. And ultimately, what we're revealing is, same way with this school situation, once again, black people have let somebody put a battery in their back, hype them up on some BS and lies, right? And we ran with it. And we're just going to continue to be humiliated unless we're willing to step up and say, you know what, I was wrong. That's why I really like J.D. Vance as Donald Trump's vice president, because J.D. Vance was a person who was a never Trumper in 2016. But once he saw Trump did a great job running the country, he said, you know what, I was wrong. And he changed directions. Until the black man, as fast as the black man can admit he was wrong and change directions, Dinus, that's as fast as our community will start making a comeback. But we can never do it. We can never do it. No matter how much the evidence tells us, hey, you're wrong. The facts, you're wrong. You made a mistake. Ain't nothing wrong with being wrong. It's only when you refuse to acknowledge your mistakes and change course, that's the problem. And this is what Tariq does. He doubles down on ignorance. He gets his bag. And then guess what? When the chips fall or the foundation fall from out of something, guess who ends up footing the bill? Black people. Because think of how many people gave Tariq money for that microphone check garbage. Now it's pulled down off the thing, which means in the lexicon, Tariq's always talk about the lexicon, in the lexicon or the historical record of this country that FBA built, it's going to go down that a con artist came out saying that the American descendants of slaves started hip hop exclusively, and his plan got foiled. And the historical record of this country is going to say that it was a combined effort, collective effort of several different minority groups, Caribbeans, Black Americans, Puerto Ricans, and whatever. I heard LL Cool J say that DJ Kool Herc is the one who started hip hop. I hear most of the actual hip hop artists who was actually around back then, right, say that DJ Kool Herc started hip hop. So you got dudes like KRS One saying the same thing. You got dudes like Busta Rhymes talk about Latino started hip hop or some shit. So it's just another slap in the face for Black Americans. Same thing with the American Maroon, the Hidden Colors. We was on that. Remember, Dinus? We was all up on Hidden Colors out there spreading pseudo historical talking points. Yeah, did you see Hidden Colors? And then what would you call it? The historical community, the academic community. They came through and shut all that shit down. How long are Black people gonna keep trying to build houses out of straw, right? Like the Three Little Pigs. We love building houses out of straw because it's quick and it's easy. But guess what happened with a house built out of straw? It's easily blown down, torn down, or burnt down. When are we gonna start building with bricks? Spending the time, taking the time, doing the work necessary to build things on a solid foundation so we don't keep dealing with constant disappointment. Same thing with the reparations movement. Straight up got the reparations movement don't even stand on nothing. I'm not saying it's not old, but the way it was set up is just it's fragile. It's weak. These arguments are weak. Like Dynas, you play football, Dynas. You remember the dude who said he wanted to play running back, but instead of running up the field, he kept trying to shake and bake too much. So he had all the speed and all the ability, but he just refused to run upfield. So he got cut, or he was like fifth string on the roster. You know that dude?
Yeah.
That's the black community. Instead of just running up the field and getting the yards, we want to shake and bake when we should just put our damn shoulder down and run up the field to make some type of progress. We want to shake and bake and try to look flashy, so we keep on ending up getting tackled for a loss. That's exactly our community.
One Man's Voice 2021. If you want to call in, call in. He says Tariq's documentary is on point. He interviewed a lot of founders. It all makes logical sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to someone who's looking for confirmation bias. This makes logical sense. The mere fact that people are even giving Tariq money tells you that they're not working on logic or rational thinking. You can't sit up and say, yeah, what Tariq said was on point when you got people who were a part of the rise of hip hop speaking out against it. It's their narrative because it's their culture to gatekeep. We are just fans who participate in the culture. I'm telling you, hip hop don't belong to no black people. The minute hip hop was marketed and distributed to the masses globally, black people no longer had control over hip hop. Oh, that's ours, but a white dude is the number one hip hop artist of all time, making the most money. Every business aspect of the shit is controlled by white people, but that's ours. Boy, that's like claiming a prostitute, Dynas. You want a woman that every man can touch? Hell no. Only a simp on that, and that's what black people are. A bunch of collective simps who keep on trying to pick up the scraps of yesteryear. What new movement are we on other than these old washed up death culture movements? Name one thing hip hop is doing for anybody black that's positive. Nothing. Just making it more dangerous for your kids to walk down the street. But hip hop, we started that, yeah. We also performed the first open heart surgery. Why don't we claim that and use that as the motivation to send a bunch of our kids to school to become surgeons? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to because it's too much work. We want to build our houses out of straw, Dynas, like the first of the three little pigs.
Hey, everyone. So I'll put the link in the chat room. We'll stay on for like another. Brad, here we go. Shifting topics again. How do you feel about Sleepy Joe Biden?
I just think Joe Biden is eventually he's going to step down. They say I was going to do a show on this, but I got the RNC playing over on my channel. Basically, Obama is telling Joe Biden to step down now. Obama is the head of the Democrat Party right now, you know, and I think he's going to be forced to step down because I think Barack Obama is one of the few people who can command the donations that Joe Biden, you know, is getting, right? So they're basically saying, you know, Joe Biden can't win. They want him to pass the mantle to Kamala Harris because she's the only person who's going to be able to retain the donor money that Joe Biden has collected. So what we're probably going to see is a Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris ticket. And I'm not going to lie. Do I think Kamala Harris could beat Donald Trump? I believe she has a better chance than Joe Biden because you're going to get
around. I think it's the other way around.
No, this is what I'm saying. Because you still got to remember, Kamala Harris will galvanize the black female vote and the black simp vote. And
I don't think black people mess with Kamala like that. We saw that in the Democratic primaries in 2020 when she ran for president.
Black women voted for Joe Biden at 91% because of Kamala Harris. Black women, 91% of eligible black female voters voted for Joe Biden because of Kamala Harris. Never underestimate the ability of a black woman to throw her community under the bus to make history for women. I mean, that pretty much is the whole basis of the feminist movement. So we know they're willing to do it at the drop of a dime.
Go ahead, H. Unmute yourself. H. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
So I don't know. Is there a problem with? Anyway, I would like to thank both you and Pan Africanists for what you guys are doing.
I don't
But
understand a word you said.
did you hear me?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead. Ask your question.
So I was asking, what is the issue that Pan Africanist is bringing up? But I would like first and foremost to thank both of you for what you're doing. Did you hear that?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. So I feel like perhaps there is some sort of like an incentive to have a back and forth about things that we both feel like, I don't know how to put it, but Pan-Africanist, I think, is in Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Yes. And I think as for you, Dynast, you've moved throughout West Africa, is it?
Correct.
Yes. So I don't know if I found the live stream up, and then I thought let me just listen in. But I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. We
But I
appreciate you.
feel, yeah, but I feel like we're trying to look for like, imagine like we're driving down the road and we're just trying to look for fucking boulders on the road. And then the car is supposed to just fucking hit boulders, like not avoid the boulders. Every conversation in some way, some form, some fashion is about like limitation. Am I trying? Maybe am I trying to reach, or maybe correct me if you could.
I don't know what you're saying,
Hello?
brother. Brandon, you understand?
Yeah, he's basically said it's like we're looking for reasons to argue and debate and get caught up on the like in the weeds,
Yes,
so to speak.
exactly.
And but the reality is that if you carefully watch these live streams, right? I never come on here to
Yes.
argue with nobody. It's this: when you say something that's true, a hit dog is gonna always holler. So I make my statement. I have a right to believe what I want to believe. I have a right to say what I want to say. You don't see me jumping all over people when they say something that I don't like. I start talking, 5 people interrupt what I'm saying because they all feel convicted by what I'm saying. If I say Umar school never gonna come, that's my opinion. If I say Umar is scamming, that's my opinion. When black people learn to let people have their opinion and don't feel like they always got to try to shut somebody down or censor somebody for having an opinion, guess what? That's when we'll move ahead. When someone says something that I don't agree with or that I know to be a lie, I will simply state the facts that counteract their lie. And I'll say it after they're done talking. Me and Dynast behind the scenes, Dynast, I'll send you some stuff, and I'll be like, look what they doing. Like when I said that these illegal immigrants were voting in California. Nobody wanted to believe that until the facts came out. And then it was like, oh, he's right. And I would say, just based on my track record alone on this channel, before you disagree with me, why don't you go do some research about what I'm saying? Why don't you try to say, you know what? Let me try to see if I can understand where he's coming from. Because he ain't never let us down thus far, right? I told y'all Trump was the best choice for president in 2020, me and Dynast. Look how we weigh in 2024. And everything me and Dynast were saying is being revealed to be true. Look at how everything we were saying 4 years ago is coming to light and revealed to be true. Black folks won't accept that, damn, maybe I'm just not doing enough research. Damn, maybe I'm not knowledgeable enough about this situation. Don't look at it as a slight against you. Look at it as an opportunity to go learn. And when you learn, I'm telling you, to win these little bullcrap debates, you don't need to do a whole lot of reading. You could do soft Google searches and debunk 99% of what all these dudes Phil gassed them up is saying. Because what they're saying is they're just sitting up here going off of the way things look to them. It's not grounded in any facts or historical evidence or nothing like that. It's just the way things look to them. And on top of that, most of the people who be talking be totally contradicting themselves, right? Like I say, you got dudes making $150,000 a year up here talking about capitalism sucks. What the hell? Then how is you making $150,000 a year? Why are you not living in a tent? But it only sucks when you want to do capitalism. When they do capitalism with their wives and all these other people, it's cool. With their mixed race children, it's cool. But I keep telling y'all, black people, you got black people who will sit up and trick you out your position because they don't want you to be where they are. And that's what you're dealing with a lot on these different YouTube channels. Dynas, he ain't never going to tell you not to go get your money. I'm never going to tell you not to go get your money. Why would you sit up and be dumb enough to listen to somebody telling you, oh, you don't need money. What you really need, Dynas, is socialism for the government to control everything for you. That doesn't even make sense. Black folks can't even live in the same house together, but somehow we going to live in these utopian socialist communities together. Boy, we'll be back in slavery.
May I interject?
Yeah. You got 30
okay?
seconds. We're ready to close out. Go ahead.
So can I ask now? When you then say we can't live in houses together, I agreed with most of what you said. The very reason I called in was that we are looking for all the problems that we cannot get to move to where we need to get to. In that very moment, when you spoke about we can't even live in the same houses, how is it that we have to have I mean, like, I'm sorry, but now we have YouTube. We're speaking to each other, and we can't even live in the same houses. What I was trying to say is that we have to try and actively try and look for places. I suspect like what Dynas is trying to do right now is trying to get us together. That is what we should be pushing towards. I feel anyway. I'm not saying that I know that it's I don't know whatever, but the negativity is not helpful. There is enough of it throughout the fucking internet. We should try. I don't know how to say it. Get together.
I understand you, but we got to close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynas Amir, search for Haru. Peace.